Hey guys, it's Kira from Kira Fringe Recaps with another Fringe Recap. Before I start, I hope you all saw Anna Torv on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, who was awesome as usual. And I learned a new amazing Aussie phrase, rubbish tin. Never again will I use the word trash can. I mean rubbish tin. How cool and sophisticated and Australian sounding is that? Yeah, can't beat rubbish tin. Also, if you saw Harry Potter, I went to a midnight showing, like a boss, and I do a little scar on my cheek. I know it's supposed to be in your forehead, I'm not an idiot, but obviously you wouldn't be able to see it with my bangs, and then my bangs would get all greasy, and then I'd be like, ew, and yeah. But it was very epic, as usual. Except the ending made me really angry, because now you have to wait until, like, June or something for part 2, and I'm like, no, why? And yeah, then it's gonna be ending. I'm so sad. Yeah, but moving on. Fringe. Yes, this episode was called The Abducted, and I think it was probably one of the best so far. It was amazing, especially the ending, but I'm still pretty afraid to go to sleep after I saw it because, oh my gosh, it was freaky. So, like, it starts off with this little kid, Max, in his room, and he's all adorable and stuff, but he's all looking at his closet like, and I'm like, oh man, damn, something's gonna come out of it, and I'm like, please don't abduct a little child or whatever, and then, like, he goes to his mom's room, and he's like, I'm afraid there's a monster in my closet, so she goes in, she checks the closet, under the bed, she's like, no monsters here, yay, and then she goes back to sleep, and then, so he's like, oh, cool, whatever, and he closes his eyes and tries to go to sleep, but all of a sudden the door is like, and then there's this, like, creepy, hooded cloak dude, and like he has this silver mask on, and he goes under the kid and puts a towel in his mouth until he falls unconscious, and then he takes the kid and he jumps out the window, and he's gone. I know. I was like crying. Well, I wasn't crying, but I was just like, oh my gosh, it was so freaky. I was like screaming at my TV. I was like, no, why did that happen? And yeah, it was really scary. So like now when I like go to sleep and I'm all calm and stuff, and then I look at the door and I just imagine it like, and then the Candy Man. His name is the Candy Man. How creepy is that? Like, as if it couldn't get any creepier. His name is the Candy Man and stuff, because he like leaves behind this weird like sugary substance on whatever he touches when he abducts these people. So it's like sugar and candy and the Candy Man. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, oh, this is an alternate universe, by the way. Sorry, I keep forgetting to mention that, but yes, it's an alternate universe. And so the Fringe Division team... Sorry, there's an eyelash in my eye. Okay. Oh my gosh. What is with my eye? Okay. Sorry. The Fringe Division team, they investigate the case and stuff, and it's kind of like... for Broyles, because actually his son was abducted by the Candyman once, and like they've shown that like every child that comes back is like really physically like challenged, I guess I would say, or distorted. I'm not sure, but like they have like injections and all this stuff and have really bad physical conditions, and then like some of them even come back with cancer. Broyles' kid is blind, and it's really sad, but so they're trying to figure out what it is. And Olivia, because she's all determined and cool like that, she's all like persistent. She's trying to ask Broyles if she can talk to his son, even though like Lincoln and Charlie were like, no, don't even think about asking him. That's terrible. Yada yada. He'll never let you do it. But then after he talks to his wife, and then he calls her, and he tells her that she can interview him, I was like, yeah, with Olivia Dunham, anything's possible. Even though he got really angry at her at first, but then it was cool. And, dude, Broyles' son is so adorable. He is, like, so awesome and stuff. And there was this one really touching scene when he has Olivia, like, wants to take him to his favorite place to talk about it. And so they're just sitting on the beach together, and he starts crying, and she starts hugging him. And I'm like, yeah, Olivia's so awesome. Okay, so, yes. And he kept saying that they were, like, all the children said that there were two suspects, but they never saw them at the same time. And then they would utter this weird prayer that was like, through pain comes salvation, and through the darkness comes a burning fire, and through the fire comes a shining light. Something like that. I'm not really sure. But a prayer similar to that kind of thing. Yeah. And so she tries to think what the prayer is, and then they go to this church where there's a reverend because someone heard him say it or something like that. They interview him, and then he gives them a list of like whatever is the people who go to his church. Oh my gosh, why am I so like today? And so they actually Olivia is suspecting that since they never saw the old suspect and the young suspect at the same time, that the guy was actually like, what he was doing to the kids was like stealing their youth, like taking, like making this weird serum to make themselves younger, but they needed like stuff from the kids to make it and stuff. So they go around and like, as soon as she knocks on the door, I know it is the guy, because she opens, and this is like creepy bald dude, and he's like, hey, what's up? Yeah, it's just me living here all alone. And he puts this weird stuff on a plate, and she's like, oh, so asking him questions, and then all of a sudden she's like, don't move, and then he runs, and then she runs into this room, and then there's like the little kid, and she's all like, Max, are you okay? And then he's like, yeah, and then she says, I'm with the FBI, which doesn't sound like much of a deal, but it matters later, because so after they catch the dude, the Candyman, and it's all good, she goes, whoa. Okay, sorry, something weird is happening with my camera. Because it's suckish. Hello. Okay, I'm sorry about that. So they go to hospital and stuff, and she talks to Max, but she's like kind of in a hurry because she was talking to Henry and stuff, and like Henry said he could get a boat to take her over to this island where the Statue of Liberty is, where the lab is, where the tank is, so she could go back to this universe. So he's like waiting for her, and she has to keep going back and forth. She's like, oh, I'm sorry, I gotta go, and stuff. But she's at the hospital, and then she sees Max, and what was I gonna say? Yeah, and he's like, oh, are you FBI? Or he's like, what's FBI? And she's like, what are you talking about? I'm with Fringe. Then he was all like, you said you were with the FBI. And then she was like, oh, that's just short for police or something like that. And then he's like, cool, I want to be FBI too, which was like the most adorable thing ever. Me and my sister were like squealing because it was like the cutest thing ever. And then Boyle sees, and he's like, the FBI was dismantled years ago. And she was like, and then he was like, you know who you are, don't you? And she was like, yeah. And then he was just like, he's like, now I go home, which was kind of weird, but alrighty then. So then finally, Wenisha's gonna go back to the boat, Henry gonna go to the island, but she goes over to the boat, and then Henry starts talking about how like his cousin taught him to work the boat or whatever, and then she's like, oh, you had to have someone teach it to you, and then we were all like, what? And then Henry was like, what? And then we realized that she realized that someone had to teach the Candyman guy to make the serum, and it turns out it was the Reverend. So now Christopher is all like trying to sleep, and he hears like his mom screaming from like downstairs or whatever, and he gets freaked out, and he knows it's the Candyman because he knows the Candyman's back because Olivia told him that the Candyman's back, and so he like tries to hide in this little vent, and like the Reverend like makes his mom like fall unconscious or something, so she can't help, and Broyles and Olivia aren't there yet because Olivia is just telling Broyles, so he's hiding in the little vent, and then the Reverend comes, and he takes him, and he's like about to like, God, and then suddenly Broyles and Olivia come in, and Broyles like, stop, and he shoots him, and it's like, yeah. So, Christopher's safe, so then, Olivia finally gets back to the boat, and then she goes over to the island, and then Henry's like, wait, where do you, what's the thing about you that I don't know yet? And then, oh, wait, okay, I gotta end this part 2.